This is Dream Center.
Hello everybody, and welcome to this edition of Dream Center. I am Nick Rice, and I'm pleasantly joined for back-to-back weeks by Jesus, who is the Niners and Cowboys owner, and I think you're very excited about the Cowboys winning this week, along with the Niners. So big wins there in the NFC East, along with the NFC West in the Week 13 season. So as we get forward to the Dream Season standings, the Raiders and Bills can clinch their division with the win next week, while both the Ravens and Titans are not so lucky as they hold very slim half-game leads in their divisions. The Miami Dolphins and Denver Broncos both hold wild card spots, while 6 other teams are still eligible for those wild card positions. Moving over to the NFC playoff picture, the Rams and Bears hold the best records in the NFC, yet still hold just a one-game lead over their division foes. The Niners and Cowboys fall back in the playoff picture with their wins in Week 13, while the Cardinals and Redskins, again, are not so lucky, and they lost in Week 13 and are on the outside looking in. So in Week 13 is in the books, and a lot of Dream Season stuff to get to as we get Dream Center underway. When we look at all the games that went down, the biggest thing was Tennessee losing 5 of their last 7 games and are now just a half game lead in the NFC South, or AFC South rather. Tennessee, the past couple weeks, have obviously collapsed, and for more on this Tennessee disaster, we welcome in our own Daniel Arguin. So, Daniel, what do you make of this Tennessee collapse to the viewers?
Well, it has been obvious that Titans have collapsed over recent weeks. One of the biggest reasons why the Titans have struggled as of late has been the defense. The Titans have fell from the tops in the league to just a mediocre 9th in a matter of weeks. Not to mention, Joe Biden has been forgotten in the MVP ballots ever since his 5-0 start. This defense will also have to face a high-powered Rams team that will look to solidify the NFC West next week with the win in Tennessee. So look for the Colts to win the game it needs in order to take first place from the Titans, and boy, will this be one long off-season for this team if they don't get it done here by season's end. Now back to you, Nick, in the studio.
Thanks, Daniel, for that sideline report on the Tennessee Titans. And really, they have not been the only disappointing team so far this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers only have 6 wins so far and are in danger of losing the division to the Baltimore Ravens at 7-5. Do you think they will win the AFC North?
No, I think the Steelers will win at the end.
I think the Steelers will win. They have a pretty tough road coming up. After losing to the Raiders, they still have division rivals Baltimore and Cleveland to take care of, and that is a big Week 14 matchup, ladies and gentlemen. So the playoffs approaching. Plenty of thrilling matchups in Week 14. Please stay tuned. After this commercial break, we will continue by saying our division winners at the end of the season, when it's all said and done.
When we return, we bring our very own Phil Nunziata to the show, where he will tell us our contenders and pretenders for the Dream Season. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Dream Season Films. It is brought to you by the Dream Season League Association of Mr. the Football Fan, JML 101582, and Danny 619 Chargers. Now, this is brought to you by the Dream Season League Association, where we will be showing you some video series such as America's Game Missing Rings, and Team Highlights. Here's a preview of the Dream Season League Association films, and while you're at it, please click the link below where we will show you the YouTube page, the Dream Season League Association Films YouTube page. Now here is the intro of probably one of the greatest YouTube pages we have for the Dream Season.
Heart. It is that special something that defines these Dream Season players. Passion. It allows you to take something to a whole new level. Disappointment. It waves over the head of 31 of these Dream Season teams. For these 32 Dream Season teams, they are all pushing for that title of the greatest team of all time. These Dream Season cameras have it all captured as they show the heart, passion, and disappointment through the Dream Season films.
Welcome back to the Dream Center, everyone. I am Nick Rice along with Jesus, and let's get right to it. Who are your 8 division winners for the Dream Season?
Well, for who I think will win the divisions, I have the Baltimore Ravens, the Oakland Raiders, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Bills, the Colts, the Buccaneers, and the Packers.
I have to agree with every one of those, except I think that the Baltimore Ravens will lose later on in the season.
Why?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
What makes you think that?
Well, the Baltimore Ravens just haven't been able to get away with this division. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have been underachieving, to say the least, but I think they can get it done, you know. They have great talent all across the board, great defense.
What's their
Terry
record?
Bradshaw, 6-6.
What's the Baltimore?
7-5.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, week 14, we'll get closer to answering that question. No shortage of big-time Week 14 matchups outside of the Steelers and the Browns, which will really get us clear to the AFC North picture. But AFC West, San Diego Chargers, NFC East, Dallas Cowboys. Who do you think will win that game and why?
I choose the Cowboys because Troy Aikman can carry his team on his back.
Carry his team on his back. Top 10 in passing, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Aikman. Going over to the NFC, my big-time game for the conference, Packers-Bears. Who do you think wins that matchup?
I would have to choose the Packers because the Bears have no defense this year.
Bears have been struggling, to say the least. They are in the top half of defense, but Packers rank #1. And even though Brett Favre's really been struggling in Green Bay so far.
Will win championships, Nick?
Defense. Defense wins championships. #1 in the league, ladies and gentlemen. Look out for the Packers to make it tough against the Chicago Bears this week. I would have to choose the Chicago Bears. I just disagree. I think Chicago gets it done at home. Chi-Town. Yeah, so there's my big AFC and NFC games so far for Week 14. Make sure to tune into the Week 14 highlights, and we will turn it over to Phil Nunziata to finish up the show. In the meantime, Mr. Approve of this message over here, thank you for tuning into the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. Make sure to tune in to Week 14. Phil Nunziata will give you his top 3 pretenders and contenders for the Dream Season.
Alright, thank you, Nick. Welcome, everybody, to the Week 13 edition of SportsCenter. I'm Phil Nunziata. Today we're going to play a little game called Contenders or Pretenders. I'm going to break down both the NFC and the AFC and tell you what teams are primed for a Super Bowl championship run and what teams are just blowing smoke.
Is your team a contender or just a pretender? Find out now on SportsCenter.
Alright, here we are at Contenders or Pretenders. We're going to start things off with the AFC. My contenders in the AFC are none other than the Oakland Raiders.
Yes, Oakland.
The Raiders have the best record in the NFL and have just come off a big win in Pittsburgh, putting them in a very bad predicament. Expect great things from the black and silver going on in the playoffs. Now, there's always a top of a spectrum and there's always a bottom. And when I go to the bottom of the spectrum, I think of one team, the Tennessee Titans.
No, Tennessee.
They're my pretenders because after coming out of the gate, they've now lost 5 of their last 7. They have a slight division lead and they might even hang on, but once they get in the playoffs, I don't expect much from this. We take things over to the NFC. After 13 weeks, things are really heating up. My contenders in the AFC are none other than the St. Louis Rams.
Yes, St. Louis.
They have the best record in the conference. Well, they're tied for the best record in the conference. The team they're tied with, the Chicago Bears, they beat last week, proving their dominance. Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, the greatest show on turf, seem destined for another Super Bowl championship. We go from one team that has a pretty sturdy grip on their division to a team that's barely hanging on, the Washington Redskins.
No, Washington.
If it wasn't for a complete meltdown in Philly, they would have completely lost their division. The Cowboys are hot on their tail, and though it hates me to say it, I think the NFC East is going to go to America's team. Thank you for watching Contenders or Pretenders.